Hey guys, what's up? I'm here with my good buddy SickRickJoseph.
How's it going, everyone?
And the original idea of what we were gonna do was do commentary on a Dragon Ball Z movie neither of us have seen, BoJack Unbound, because this is kind of it's gonna be our thing now. We're gonna do commentary on the Dragon Ball Z movies. And yeah, I know we haven't. Neither of us have seen BoJack Unbound. Sorry.
It's not my fault I don't have a video. Well, okay, now I have a video store. I didn't before. It wasn't my fault. Get off my back, man.
But suddenly both of us had an epiphany.
That Ed, Edd n Eddy will have horrible lives for all of its characters in the end.
Yeah, for some reason we got on that conversation. We were talking about 90s cartoons, and we got on Ed, Edd n Eddy, and then Rick over here posed, what would they be like in the future? And I was like, dude, screw the commentary. We're gonna BS 2 hours. Or however long this takes.
Well, let's get into it. Who do you want to start with?
Well, let's talk about the main three. Let's start with Ed.
Ed.
Where do you think he'd be in about... You know, since the show ended in 2007, I believe, and now it's 2012.
They were 8th graders, right, in the last season? So they would have been, like, high school students the next year?
Yeah.
So, 2007, they were freshmen. They would have graduated in 2011.
2012, where do you think they are now?
They'd be first-year college students.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, they'd be second-year college. Okay, a Double D would be a second... No, a Double D is smart. Double D would probably graduate high school early. He'd probably start his college classes in a, off-campus program.
No, but we're talking about 1D Ed first.
Okay, Ed, I see Ed where I probably see Ed in high school. In a smoke-filled van with a bunch of people. Because that's just... Ed is dumb, and later he'll find a legitimate reason for being dumb.
Or smarter.
Yeah, who knows? It could have an adverse effect on Ed. It could be his, anti-Ritalin.
For all we know, when Ed smokes a joint, it's gonna be like it's gonna open up to the whole universe, like the whole of reality is going to bow before him.
Yeah, and then he's gonna spend all his time writing poorly. He's gonna do poorly spelled and edited fanfic of fucking sci-fi stuff the rest of his life.
Yeah, no, not even that. He's just gonna he's gonna be sitting around watching The Big Lebowski.
Yeah, either that or he's gonna have a complete mental breakdown, be still living in his parents' basement, and hide the fact that he killed his little sister and both his parents.
That's dark.
Yeah, well, he could be sinister behind his stupidity. You never know who's gonna be psycho. And Ed has all the things of Leatherface.
Well,
Sarah's already a man-eating monster. Just if she starts eating human flesh, how much of a fucking stretch would that be?
Well, to be fair, we saw in one episode Ed got pissed off over a pebble in his shoe and destroyed the entire neighborhood. So you could be going somewhere.
He's gonna be the guy that well, okay, I don't want to get it too dark, but he's the disgruntled employee that would go back to the factory. Let's just leave it at that.
Carrying a lot of ammo.
No, he'd just be carrying plank. And he'd attach a shiv at the end. He'll just duct tape a piece of scrap metal to it. He'll take some lipstick, put some mean eyebrows on plank, and go and get his revenge. Spend the rest of his life in prison.
Yeah. Alright, so let's move on to Double D.
Double D. He'll go to college.
Yeah. He's the only one who has hope.
Slowly but surely, he will come out of his shell, eventually take off his sock cap, and probably grow some really sweet dreads.
Well, everyone's convinced. There's a series on DeviantArt called Ed, Edd n Eddy High School where Double D doesn't have the hat anymore, and he has like this ridiculously long anime style hair, like Raditz long, like it looks like Raditz's hair.
Wow. Yeah, he'll turn that into some wicked dreads.
Yeah. I think the other thing, like he'll be in college and
he'll still be lonely, and he'll just use the sock to beat off.
Thanks, man.
I'm sure there's already deviant art of that image. Don't give me crap.
But the other thing I think what would be for that Ed is that he'd probably be a little more loosened up.
Yeah, well, college life would be good for Double D. Admit it. Yeah. He just needs to get away from Eddie and Ed. Like, he needs new friends, and he'll just be good to go in life.
Yeah. Actually, more so than Ed, I see Double D, the one being the stoner.
Okay, yes. I do also maybe see one of them getting diabetes and losing their foot thanks to all the Jawbreakers.
I love how you're taking this to a Tom McFarlane level story.
What? It's true. Those Jawbreakers are fucking huge.
Well,
like, I'm surprised. Like, that's gonna be my story for Eddie. Eddie just choked to death in a Jawbreaker.
Nah, getting on with Double D, what else do you think he'd do in college? He'd probably be, the only one with a legitimate life.
Well, besides building, like, the most advanced bongs on any campus anywhere, he would, I think he would maybe find himself a girlfriend.
Yeah.
Or turn out to be a twink. But we'll get to Jimmy when we get to him.
I knew you were going to do that.
Yeah, well, you could argue Johnny's gay, too, considering his only friend is a plank of wood. But anyway, Double D, I just think he needs to get away from them, and he'll be good to go. He'll find himself a girlfriend, he'll find himself a wife.
He'll find himself a social...
Probably a few kids.
Yeah, he's the only one who, in our twisted epilogue of this show, will have a good life.
Well, no, we haven't talked about Rolf yet. But anyway, I'm pretty sure that Double D is going to have, like, a daughter who has a weird fetish, like wearing pantyhose on her head.
What? Oh, yeah, from that episode. If he wore a
sock on his head, she would wear, like, pantyhose.
Oh, yeah, and there was that one episode.
His kids has to be weird.
Yeah, and there was that episode.
Oh, wait. He'll have a nervous breakdown at some point when he loses his little ticker thing to label everything. And that's when he'll take off his hat, his sock, and be like, what have I been doing with my life except firing rockets into this? Well, and then he'll throw it aside.
Like he'll have that moment like when Bruce Wayne looks at himself and go, "Oh my God, I am wearing hockey pants." Like he's gonna have that long, hard look at himself. Was like, I was so uptight.
Yeah. Double D will do fine.
Yeah. He will be fine. So let's move on to. Oh boy, we're gonna have a field day with this one. Eddie. Hello? Alright, sorry about that, everyone. Technical difficulties. So, we've now moved on to the part of the story where we have now we've hit an all-time low.
Yeah. Welcome to Eddie's life. Death, prison, or death in prison. Take your choice.
Well, I think he'd be more like, okay, he out of all of them, he's gonna be the one who drop out after. I'd say he'd drop out after what, 9th grade?
Yeah, probably. He'd probably get a girl pregnant and have to drop out.
Yeah, he's the, like I was telling you, even though you hate this show, boo on you, by the way, Anna and Eddie is the animated younger Trailer Park Boys for, a younger audience. So I think, like I was saying, Eddie is out of the Trailer Park Boys characters, I compare him to Ricky.
He is so Ricky.
Yeah. There you go, Dan. I made a Trailer Park Boys reference. Yeah. Are you happy now?
Oh, and Dan, I watched another 1.5 episodes. You have yet to follow through on it getting better. You lie, Dan.
Hey, I'm a fan of that show too.
Well, then you lie as well, Tyler. I will give it the first season.
Well, you've still got 3 more episodes to go, so shut up.
Well, fine. But anyway, I actually had a rather interesting thought between Eddie and Double D.
Yeah.
Eventually down the line, I'm sure Double D's wife will probably divorce him, and I see Double D as Walter White and Eddie as Jesse, eventually.
So you just imagine them making cocaine in a basement somewhere?
No, they're going to be making meth in a trailer in the country, and they're just going to pass it off as jawbreakers. and everyone's tongues are different colors because they hastily just paint these meth balls with lead paint. Because, you know, even though they're trying to make meth, they still have to make these ridiculous fucking contraptions. And all they're trying to raise is 25 cents.
It's the cheapest meth on the block.
Yeah, because it's just a big old ball of meth.
Okay, so for...
Yeah, nothing good for Eddie. He'll have a lot of stress and his 3 hairs will fall out.
Yeah, Eddie is going to be, like, he's going to do a lot of odd jobs. I can see, like, he's going to be working for his dad because they said his dad works at a used car salesman, so he's going to be doing that for a while.
Yeah, I could see that. And I know his life's just going to be filled with, like, gambling debts, people he owes money, backroom card games, and cheap, ugly women.
Yeah. Or, you know, worse comes to worse, he ends up hooking up with Lee Kanker.
No, he'll probably end up, like, I bet Sarah is going to be the one he gets pregnant.
Really?
And, yeah. Because, you know, they hate each other so much, they're drawn to each other. Opposites attract.
I'm still going to go with my Lee idea.
Yeah.
Because that's like, he's going to be
We'll
like...
get to the Kankers when we get to them. I
Well,
see rascals in Walmart in their future.
Well, the reason I say him and Lee is because the whole hate each other thing, but it's going to be like, well, she obviously wants to bone me, and it's 3 a.m., I got nothing better to do.
You know, I bet if she, like, put her hair down and put some makeup on, she's like Scarlett Johansson in disguise. Because, like, every movie I've seen with a girl who grows up in a trailer park, they're normally played by pretty attractive women.
Yeah. Again, I'm making that Trailer Park Boys comparison, so they're gonna have an illegitimate daughter, and I totally can see Eddie going around picking up and smoking cigarette butts.
Yeah, I can see Eddie just going up to Johnny and be like, give me a smokes. Give me a smokes.
Yeah. If Double D moves back to the cul-de-sac, he's going to see Eddie there. He's like, oh, god damn it. And he's going to be the one bailing him out of jail.
True. And he'll be like, Eddie, I can't keep doing this, man. I got college and a family. Eddie will just keep crashing on Double D's couch.
Yeah. Or, you know, I need money for rent, man. You're going to use it on pot, dude.
I see Eddie, about 33, owing the wrong person too much, and probably getting one between the eyes. And that's the end of Eddie. Just one bullet. There goes his story and life of entrepreneurship.
Yeah. And you know what would be funny? If he owed the guy, if he was short by 25 cents.
Yeah, it was just a quarter off. And it turns out that he had the quarter in his pocket and he was going to use it to buy a jawbreaker.
That's irony right there. Alright, so, sorry for that, had another technical difficulty. So, what characters you want to move on to next, Rick?
I think the Cankers.
Oh, Lord, here we go.
Lee is the redhead, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I see Lee in a string of failed marriages, 5 kids, gained a couple 100 pounds, moves around on a rascal, and shops specifically at Walmart.
You know the sad part? I know people like that. I've seen people like that at my Walmart.
Yeah,
because I live at that.
They spent their childhood going after a bunch of guys with addictions.
Oh boy, you probably nailed that one to a T.
All right, let's go to the blue-haired one.
Marie.
Marie.
Yeah.
Yeah, porn star.
Really? You're gonna go for that? You're gonna say that? I was gonna say, jail time. A lot of jail time.
Nope. Cheap, hardcore, amateur, interracial porn. Marie's future.
Man,
just a series of, I don't know.
You just went for the throat on that one.
Unsteady paychecks, and I don't know what else you could say.
Yeah. That one you
unsteady paychecks and glory holes. There's her future.
You went right for the throat on that one.
Yeah. Because Sarah Lee, she has the most hope.
Yeah, no, you mean May.
Yeah, May. She could possibly get older, develop a little more.
And probably, that's the only one I could see, actually some...
fine makeup. She'd be the slutty one in high school.
Yeah, and probably the one that would end up with, the thing I say with Eddie and Lee is because it's more like, because it's more like, you're here, I'm here, little Eddie's here, and he's awake.
Yeah.
With May, it's probably gonna be like she's gonna be with Ed because Ed's gonna be at that point in his life where he's gonna be like, he's not just stupid. There is something seriously wrong with him, and it's gonna be like, she's gonna I don't want to make it sound sentimental, but she's gonna be the only one that understands.
True, and that's why she helps hide the bodies when he kills his whole family.
Good Lord, man.
It's gonna happen.
We should get Garth Ennis to write this.
No, but he'll be so strung out. He'll think he's seeing sci-fi fantasies like the Halloween episode, because he'll be on PCP. Because he'll have gotten it from May since they live in a trailer park. Sorry to anybody who lives in a trailer park. I just assume you're a hotbed of drug activity.
He said that, not me.
Deadpool's only for some of what I say. This is not that.
Exactly. But yeah, the other thing is with Marie, I could see what you were saying. I'm gonna go with the jail time life. She'd be in and out of female prison.
Yeah, she'd be in a female correctional facility, just hardcore lesbian, breaking broom handles, shoving up girls' vaginas in the shower.
Shut up, man! Shut up!
What? It's those 70s exploitation films.
If you were in the same room as me, I'd punch you right now. We have just, you know how many childhoods we've just destroyed?
You know how much time she'd probably spend in solitary? Because she looks like a girl that she'd always have a shiv hidden somewhere.
Yeah. So, yeah, let's just face it, nothing good will come of them. Well, actually, no, May has some hope.
No, she doesn't. She's hiding a lie. They just live in the basement together, and she makes him buttered toast with gravy every morning. Yep. So he's just a fat slob that can't move, and he's just slipped into a coma from the drugs, and just kind of rambles now and again. And eventually, May won't be able to take it anymore, and she'll just suffocate him with a pillow.
You see, I'm trying to have some hope here.
I told you, Double D will turn out fine until he gets divorced. Then he turns into Walter White.
Which is still kind of badass. Well,
yeah, at least he's not gonna, hang himself or something.
Well, actually, no, we gave Eddie some hope because he's gonna be the one who's gonna be like Jesse.
Yeah.
He's gonna get hooked back up with Double D. Is yeah, we're gonna start cooking.
Yeah, all you in the audience probably thought I was gonna save the mental breakdown drug making for Johnny. Oh, Johnny gets another fate.
which I am kind of scared to hear. So who do you want to move on to now?
Let's talk about Sarah.
Oh, good. Oh, you mean you're not gonna kill her off? You're not gonna do the whole sweet tooth story with her? With her?
No, this is gonna be while she's pregnant with Eddie's second child. Because then it's even sadder.
Where's the first? I'm afraid to ask.
It's actually up for adoption because they found her to be an unfit parent.
Shocker. Yeah, shocker.
And when it gets to its new house, it's going to be beaten like the ugly red-headed stepchild that it is, with its 3 red hairs.
You are the most jaded person I have ever heard. So, again, the wonders of technical difficulties. Continue what you were saying on poor Sarah.
Well, Sarah liked Double D a lot as they grew up. And Sarah, because she's going to be having Eddie's kids, Sarah will have to develop early. Like, very early. Like, she drank her milk. And I see by high school, she likes a lot of boys. A lot.
We're gonna leave it at that. We're gonna leave it at that, kiddies.
Yeah. Let's just say that, well, actually, let's not say. I don't want to get too graphic.
Oh, like you haven't before.
We just know that in the end she'll die a pregnant, lonely woman, since the only guy she'll steadily be seeing is, Eddie.
Who?
She'll be cheating on him with at least 5 different people.
It's gonna be like that scene in Clerks.
Yeah. At some point, she's going to break into Double D's house, tie up his wife in bed while she's sleeping, and just stand over him until he wakes up. And that'll be like what forces their divorce. And then days later, Sarah herself will be killed by Ed.
I love how you're tying this in as like one big sad continuity.
Yes, because like the domino effect of Eddie dying will just continue throughout the story. And it'll end with May suffocating Ed. And the last thing you'll see is Eddie's little kid with the step-parents, and he's all bruised up because they don't really like the child much, going into the store to buy a jawbreaker with a quarter he found on the ground. And we'll follow the quarter story because it'll be found in Eddie's cold, dead hand, and somehow it'll end up back in the town. He'll find it on the street. He'll pick it up, and he won't realize that he'll spend his dad's last quarter on a jawbreaker.
God, this is like HBO shit right here.
Yeah, and if I wanted to make it really dark, the kid would choke on it, but he's not going to. He's going to put it in his mouth, spit out, and be like, "This sucks."
Yeah.
and then he's going to go make real friends.
Oh, God. Okay, so we destroyed Sarah's life. Let's move on to... I don't know, who else you want to... But you know what? Let's actually take God's punching bag, Jimmy.
Oh, man.
And you know that analogy's true, because let's face it, everything went wrong for Jimmy.
On Jimmy's 12th birthday, his parents are going to get him the complete Blu-ray box set of Will and Grace. And this will start a horrible chain reaction that will start slowly with cross-dressing and just go eventually into full-on homosexuality. Because, let's face it, Jimmy is...
They never said it, but you knew.
Jimmy's gay. And look, there's nothing wrong with being gay, so I don't offend anybody in the audience, but he is. He's Tim Gunn, Project Runway.
I love how you personified that. For this poor character.
He's literally, like, the most girly girlfriend a group of girls can have that's not a girl himself. But he'll be, like, the most feminine of them. All his shirts will be tight and pink and have buttons, and the buttons will mostly be undone so he can show off his two chest hairs. And he'll have a boyfriend that's much older and heavier set.
We get it. I love how none of my ideas compare to yours because I usually have some hope for them.
And he's gonna go backpacking in Europe.
And he will never return.
Yeah, because he'll go to a youth hostel and, like, get involved in an orgy, and he'll wake up in, like, the hostel room.
Oh, God.
And actually, you know the really funny thing?
What?
You know who was torturing him?
Who?
Rolf.
Let's save Rolf for a little later. Let's talk about Kevin.
Oh boy, glory years are soon to be behind this guy. He's gonna realize that tapping the same blonde ass all these years isn't really rewarding when they get married out of high school, have a kid, and by the time they're 25, divorced, he doesn't have custody, and they just loathe each other. He doesn't have a bike anymore, he's got a crappy car. He still wears his beat-up backwards baseball cap like he's a Fred Durst fan, which, you know, I am as well. Respect, Kevin. It's hard to rep the biscuit when you have such a shitty life, I'd imagine. Him and Eddie will both be arrested after they get into a bar fight.
Yeah, and I can see it. Eddie's gonna start it like he's gonna be so blasted out of his mind. The moment he sees Kevin, he's just gonna break a bottle and go for it.
Well, there was the fight they had in high school at a party that of course Ed and Eddie weren't invited to, where Eddie breaks the bottle, slashes his tires, and then attacks Kevin with his own bike. And
it got on YouTube somehow.
Yeah, and Eddie always walked with a limp after that because Kevin took one of his bike handles and put it up. Well, you know where.
Oh, God.
Yeah, you thought Jimmy was gay? Eddie has a plug that he can't get out of his ass since he was 17 years old.
You jerk.
And no, I said that he dies at age 33. That's like 15 years of tormenting butt plug. I just took away any modicum of class your channel had.
Thank you.
Ed and Eddie butt plug.
Thank you, you asshole.
You're welcome. I found your channel too classy and all ages accessible. I had to fix that.
Not anymore.
I hope you don't put, like, explicit in the connotations.
Oh, God.
Anyway, Naz will do a little better for herself.
Wait, we didn't talk about the fate of Kevin. What are we gonna do with him? He's gonna be the personification of that jock you knew in high school who's just gonna be. He's gonna have the world's shittiest life because he doesn't know what to do. Oh, and also he was having a aspiring football. He was going to go to college football on a college on a football degree, but he suffered a nasty leg injury and it forever destroyed him.
It's true, and he has no hair, which is why he still wears the baseball cap, and he just works at, like, an auto shop. And he's got a little bit of a beer gut, and he's just, you know, he's a mechanic.
Yeah, and he occasionally may or may not be on Cops.
Yeah.
You see, I can do this too.
At the end, he'll probably hang himself.
No, he's just gonna be in and out of jail. He's gonna be in and out of jail for petty things. Like, he's gonna be the personification of domestic disturbance.
And you said that Eddie is Ricky. That's giant. That's Kevin's future.
Alright, let's,
And then he'll end up in that cheap backdoor porn with Marie. And then those two will find love in the most unlikely of places.
Well, that's kind of the nicest thing you've said this entire video.
Yeah.
Alright, let's talk about Naz. I think she's gonna have I have a vision that she's gonna have kind of a better life. But
yeah,
you have
she's
other
gonna get knocked up 2 years after high school and marry Kevin, but don't worry, she'll steadily cheat on him with more well-off guys as the time goes on.
Possibly Double D will be one of them.
Yeah, eventually Naz will find herself a nice sugar daddy. I mean, she's a good girl and everything, but she's gonna grow up to be attractive.
Yeah,
And she's gonna find a fat guy who will be willing to pay her any amount to stay around. And that's why she'll have the nicest clothes.
Yeah. Well, other thing, like, if we go with the whole Walter White thing for Double D and he's already divorced, he'll be like, screw it. Come on.
Yeah. She'll end up being one of Hef's Playboy bunnies. Well, like, yeah, she'll be a model.
Huh.
But Kevin will, like, scar her face in a domestic abuse scene with a beer bottle. So she'll forever be working at, like, Walmart in the makeup section trying to cover up her vicious scar.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that, Rick.
No problem. She'll have to be doing her boss in her car so she can get a raise, too.
And for that little cherry on top.
Because she'll lose the sugar daddy once her face gets scarred. Oh, and her daughter will grow up to be totally trashy.
Yeah. And the other thing, like, let's just add this in here. If she becomes Double D, if Double D becomes her sugar daddy, she's going to be his meth train.
It's true.
Yeah.
She'll also be his other train station.
God, we are some terrible people.
Yeah, we are.
All right, so who we got next on the list?
Johnny 2x4.
Oh God, can you say Asylum?
Arkham Asylum.
I can see it now. Like, he is gonna have a breakdown in like at the beginning of high school, and he's got the Toothface thing to begin with. He's got not Two-Face. He's got the Mr. Scarface and ventriloquist thing going already.
Yeah, he's gonna end up. Well, I know it's not really funny because it's a serious topic, but Johnny's gonna totally Columbine thanks to Plank. Plank's gonna be like, kill.
That's not funny at all.
Okay.
You kind of crossed the line there.
I figure if Plank could talk, the only things he'd say are like, and just compel Johnny onward. Because Johnny's like Jason. He's bald, he's special, and he seems to just be unstable. And I bet he can't swim. And sometimes I have to cross the line, just that I know I still have one. Yeah. Considering all the other horrible shit I've talked about tonight.
Yeah, you kind of, there's an edge there somewhere. Well, there's Johnny.
Yeah, Johnny will eventually find a girlfriend, and he'll move in with her, and he'll become completely dependent, and when she wants to break up, he'll just go completely nuts and bash her brains in with Plank, sit there in the house in front of the corpse for 3 days without blinking, staring at Plank's blood and brain-spattered piece of wood until the police come after a missing persons report is filed, find Jimmy sitting there, and have him committed to a mental institution for the rest of his life.
All right.
And he'll be sitting in the rubber room with the ducky in the straitjacket, and all he can say is, "Where's Plank?"
Good Lord. So who we got left?
Oh, I didn't tell you about when he tries to escape the asylum
Let's
when he's
not
like
say
60.
Let's not say we did.
No, it has to do with Captain Watermelon Head.
Alright, so who we got left?
Let's see. Rolf.
Okay. I want to know.
I will grant you, Rolf does not end up in the hostel killing Jimmy.
Okay.
Jimmy just moves to San Francisco, and he actually has a happily ever after with a guy named Cliff.
Alright, so...
They own a wine and candle shop together.
Gee, thanks for that stereotype.
No problem.
Alright, so what are we going to do with Ralphie boy?
Well, Rolf will actually, well, it's too bad about what happened to Rolf.
Oh, God.
See, Rolf never knew really what the internet was, so he was taken for everything he had in a scam, and he was eventually put into human trafficking.
Oh, good lord.
And no one ever heard from Rolf again. Or in a happier ending, Rolf turns out that, like, one of his family members dies, and he becomes one of those billionaires, and he's like, he's clubbing, and he's that vaguely foreign dude with the accent dancing with all those girls, and he looks like a Persian. He's just all over the floor. He's driving around like the Ferrari, and he's got the pig, and the pig's got like a hair gel, and he's all clean and stuff. And he's rolling with the farm animals.
He's got Victor the goat in the back.
Yeah.
Oh god, we have literally created a monster.
Yeah.
We have created a horrible, horrible monster. If you have listened this long without being disgusted, I thank you, good sir or ma'am.
Do you know the freakiest part about what happened to Johnny?
What?
The police tried to burn Blank with, like, gasoline and a match, but he wouldn't light.
Oh, you had to go back to that, didn't you?
Well, yeah. Don't you know Blank's origin? He was a piece of wood cut from the tree in Sleepy Hollow.
I was gonna say Pet Cemetery, but okay.
Yeah, he's all crazy and stuff, and he's possessed. Actually, that's gonna happen to Sarah at some point. She's gonna get possessed like the Exorcist.
How wonderful.
And it's gonna be all Ed's fault, because, like, Ed will be trying to do some spell when he's in the basement smoking with Double D and Eddie, and they'll end up, like, getting Eddie's sister, or they'll get Sarah possessed. But then, like, the really awkward thing is that, like, while she's possessed, that's when she gets pregnant with Eddie's baby.
Oh, good cry. Oh, good sweet lord. This is mostly his doing, not mine, for the record.
I told you they would have horrible, horrible futures. This is like some Days of Future Past shit.
No, it's not even that. This is The Wire.
It'd just be his luck to lose his virginity to a girl possessed by the devil and get her pregnant on the first try. Okay, I think we're out of characters.
Yeah.
We could talk about Eddie's older brother.
No, we're not, because I can see that dude's gonna, like, he's gonna get shot and killed for scant ripping. He's gonna be the guy who's gonna rip the wrong people off, and that he's gonna get blown up in a car.
No, he's not gonna get blown up in a car. A few dudes are just gonna bust into his trailer at that amusement park one night and just, like, unload a whole round in him between the two of them. Like, you just hear guns going off in the trailer.
Yeah. And one of them.
And you just see a silhouette in the mirror, in the window, and it's just, like, Eddie's older brother just shaking like he's having an epileptic seizure. But you know he's actually getting lead poisoning.
Yeah. But... and what both the guys are gonna walk out is like, that's what you get for crossing Marcellus Wallace.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be quite a trip for these kooky kids.
The sad part, if they continued this series in the future, possibly half of what you said, if not like a quarter of it, 75% of it would be true.
Oh, it would all come true, because I'd get hired as a writer. I'd be like, here, let me guide this series to its conclusion.
We need to put this, and by the way, we need to put this on Adult Swim. Why? Just read the first episode.
And then it turns out, like, at the end, it's all a cop-out, and, like, they're going to see a clairvoyant, and she tells them this is their future. And they're like, how much do we owe you? And she's like, 25 cents. And then they all gang up on her and kill her, and that starts this horrible chain of events. Because they were all broke.
Even that would piss me off.
Why? Because you know it's inevitable that these people will end horrible, horrible lives?
No, the cop-out.
Well, at least Kevin and Marie will be happy, and Double D will be happy if he doesn't, like, get divorced.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to.
Yeah, Kevin Marie's gonna have the more jaded, happy ending.
Actually, it turns out it's gonna be Double D that kills Eddie.
Why?
Because Eddie, I'm sure eventually Walter's gonna kill Jesse. I'm sure Eddie will do something to cross Double D, or Double D will be left with no choice except to put one between the eyes.
Yeah. Or they're just talking and he's sitting in Double D sitting in the back of the car, and Eddie knows what's gonna happen. He's just, just talking to him on a couch. Yeah. They're just reminiscing, and then he's like, "I'm sorry, Eddie." He's like, "I know." Bang!
No, he doesn't even say I'm sorry. He just says, "Hey, remember that time we did that prank to get that jawbreaker?" And he's like, "Yeah, good times. Good times."
And he's just gonna... And then it's gonna be like, he's gonna leave the gun but take the cannolis.
Yeah. Oh, Kevin will also have a drinking problem and get fired from his mechanic job for being an alcoholic.
Thank you for adding that in.
Well, yeah, but then he's gonna meet Maria at the AA meetings. And that's when they'll find their love.
By the way, you didn't give a full end... I'm curious, you didn't give a full ending to May.
Oh, well, after she suffocates Ed, she just kind of goes on living in the basement. It's really creepy.
I was gonna go say she hooks up with Double D later.
No, she eventually builds a hidden room in the house, and anybody that tries to move into the cul-de-sac into the house, she kills. She's like Michael. But it's not even her house, so it's the really awkward thing.
How wonderful.
No, I'm just kidding. She'll go on to be a crazy cat lady.
That works.
Oh, I didn't tell you what'll actually happen to her, though. When she gets really old someday, she'll never have, any company whatsoever. So when someone finally comes to the door, like some Girl Scouts, she'll be excited, except she'll trip and fall down the steps. And die at the bottom.
We've created a shit-stained masterpiece.
Because she's too poor to afford Life Alert. And she's too dumb to know that you have to press the button.
I want to see what we can think... If this is what we can think of for Ed, Edd n Eddy, I can only imagine what we'd think of for Rugrats.
Oh,
no.
Either way, Angelica becomes Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, we'll have to... No, we're not going to do that.
No, we don't need to bastardize everyone's childhoods.
No, we just had the urge to do this one.
Yeah, this just so happened to be a topic... Actually, you thought of this topic.
Yeah, because I thought this was going to be a little more handled with a little more care. I was under that assumption.
Yeah, well, you can't say it wasn't interesting.
No.
This is way too intriguing not to listen to all the way through.
And like I said, if you've listened this far, congratulations.
You don't get a cookie at the end. Just the everlasting shame of knowing one of your favorite childhood shows has just been completely and utterly violated with no remorse by me.
And what's worse, this considering some fan fiction I've read, this isn't the worst. We've done... fan fiction writers have done work. What we've done is burn it. People have incinerated it.
Yeah. You could argue that, eventually, they don't know what to... The other one is, May doesn't know what to do with Ed, so she just burns the house down around him and he dies. Hope that's not too depressing.
Don't worry, it is.
Did I mention when he kills the whole family, he eats Sarah raw?
No, you didn't. Glad you gave that info.
There you go. Folks, I think the sick part might be true. I don't know if I should change my name to Sick in the Head, Rick Joseph.
Oh, if they've listened this far, they'd already be calling you that.
I'm just trying to get you all in the Halloween spirit.
How wonderful.
Yeah, because no matter what, as long as you don't grow up in a horrible family life like Ed, Edd and Eddy are going to, or like the family in the Rob Zombie Halloween, you won't turn out to be a serial killer. So depending on where you come from, you may or may not end up as one of the 3 Eddies or any of the other unfortunate bastards that live in that cul-de-sac.
Yeah. Alright, well, I think we've covered everything, so I want to thank SickRickJoseph for giving this horrible outlook on the Ed, Edd and Eddy life. And, yeah, you guys tell us what you thought of all our ideas, or mostly Rick's.
Yeah, I never knew that I could just, like, get going and... this wasn't even planned. This was just off the top of my head future.
And what a future
I am awesome at this.
What a future you crafted.
Yeah, you guys should all subscribe to me to hear a little more positive content.
Where is that exactly on your channel?
I talked about Iron Man 3 trailer and I was excited for it.
Anything else?
Well, no, because most of my videos I'm big, so I'm always happy. So, yeah, subscribe, and subscribe to Deadpoolzilla if you haven't, because...
the better word is resubscribe at this point.
Because we promise we'll never do Ed, Edd and Eddy again, but we should be back eventually with another commentary.
Yeah, or I'll do this video again with another guy, or we'll do this again with another series, and possibly have a nicer outlook.
We could talk about the Rugrats as high school kids in a Red Dawn situation.
Let's don't say we did.
Or, how about the Rugrats all grown up in, like, The Walking Dead? I can tell you who's gonna live and die. Are we still recording?
Yeah, we still are. And no, I don't want to do that, because I already know this has scarred me. Because when I know, I'm gonna go watch it.
So outros?
Yeah, let's just call it a night. Good night, everyone. And please, I really feel bad for you if you're a diehard.
Alrighty. Good. Pray for me.
Yes. Good night, everyone.